you do feel like you're dying. I'm not even gonna
Yeah.
lie. And and my most difficult panic attack was over an hour long. It
Wow.
was over an hour,
Okay, that's
and
long.
to the point where my husband wanted to take me to the hospital because I couldn't breathe.
Wow.
And I think you learn what your triggers are. You learn
Mm.
what to not do, but then you also learn to look at the positives. And I like to say, there's this thing called glimmers. There's things in your day that make you smile. There's things in your
Yes.
day that. So when I'm having that tailspin, and I think to myself, why are you doing this? What are you doing it for?
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Zen and Now, where we deep dive into wellness, mental health, and healthy living, and everyday living as well. Today, I have an extraordinary guest on my show. She's not only a longtime friend, an incredible mom, human being, PTSD, anxiety survivor, but she's also making waves in the cybersecurity space. Her expertise and passion for keeping our digital world safe are truly inspiring. Please join me in welcoming Nadia Veeran-Patel to the show.
Thanks so much, Kishan. You have no idea how excited I am to be here, and I'm super proud of you for what
Thank
you've
you.
done.
Thank you.
Not just with Zen and Now, but with everything, the move, everything. It's brave and yeah, from humble beginnings, right?
Yes, yes, humble beginnings, and there's no limit to where we can go.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, if you can just share with the listeners like your background, where you come from, and how you got to your career and where you are at now, and where you are now in life.
Yeah, thanks, Kish. Yeah, so I mean, humble beginnings. We grew up in a small township in the south of Johannesburg in South Africa, called Lenasia. Not to be associated with Malaysia, but yeah, it's we grew up in an era where obviously it was tough, and I think we had quite a sheltered upbringing. When I think about it, often is we never experienced much. We always just knew this little community. We knew each other,
Yes,
and
yes,
and then you go, and apartheid kind of ended, and my parents were like, let's put her in a Model C school. And it was difficult because I was one of the few you know um, color kids.
right,
So it was difficult, and I got picked on and bullied, and but it was eye opening as well, right? So and then of course went to university, started studying computer science, hated it for some reason, and then changed.
right,
And left. I left because also it was financially a major struggle for my parents, right? So that first year of university was quite a struggle, and they couldn't actually afford to keep me in, and I ended up having student loans. So I left, and I decided to study marketing management, and fell back into IT for some
right.
reason. And then you fast forward, 20 years down the line, still in the tech space, but as a chief information security officer. Um, and just, yeah, loving it. I mean, I found my niche. I fell into it, my early 30s, and just so happy right now. I didn't get a degree in IT. I didn't study tech formally until now. I'm busy studying my master's now, but it's just been such a wild, great ride, right?
Right, right. Yeah, it's a. Do you feel like it's your like if it's? Do you feel like it's a passion now for you, or is it's something that was just a calling?
I think it's both. Hey,
Right.
I really found my passion. Like my husband teased me the other day, and he said to me, you'll never leave cyber. And I was like, but I kind of do want to open up a bar and just, go and take it easy. But it is. I love it. It's such a deep passion, but I think it's also because I excel at it, and I found that thing that I love.
Yes.
And I think that's a lot of people don't find that, right? And if I think about, like, I mean, when I went from development and coding and all of those things to kind of account management and service delivery managing an operations team, IT operations team, to this, it's very different, right? And I'm happy. I'm so happy, and I'm so lucky I found my passion, really.
Right. I think you hit the nail on the head there. Not a lot of people find that passion, and not a lot of people are able to, do what they love on a everyday basis. And I think a lot of them fall into that, mundane, you know, workflow of life. And, I think they're not very happy in where they are. And then I think they kind of go into like a little bit of a, just spiral of just existing.
Absolutely. A slump, right? A
Yes,
total
yeah.
slump. And you're totally right. Kish, you spend so much of your time at work,
Mm.
right? And you're doing it every single day. And someone the other day said to me, "Oh, I'm too old to like change careers." I was like, "What? You're in your
No.
20s. You're never too old." I'm like, I may change careers in 10 years' time again. I don't believe you ever too old to do anything.
Nah.
Um, and I absolutely like took my hat off to my husband the other day because he was in the financial services industry for the past 21 years, and he just changed and he moved into IT as well. And I
Oh,
was like,
nice.
good for you. And he's loving it. He's absolutely loving it. And I mean, we're in our 40s now, and it's just amazing, and it's such a testament to exactly that. Don't just exist. You only got one life,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Or experience it.
But what you're doing also is showing your kids that it's okay to change, and it's okay to not feel as if though you're doing something wrong.
That's it.
Change is a part of life, and we all want to succeed. We all want to do well, and
Yeah,
sometimes something you do at the beginning doesn't work. It's okay. Try
that's
something
it.
new. You never know what's just gonna fuel your passion. Uh, I was lucky enough. Like, I studied
Mm.
IT. I did my passion from the beginning, and I think that's where I felt my calling was,
Right.
including like helping people and stuff like that. So like I mainly did support services, but because that's my passion. I love helping people. I love tech. I love getting hands
Right.
on. But I also knew that tech is a wide space, and I need
Right.
to I need to grow my knowledge. So I did my security badges and things like that. So I've
Yeah.
also had um, that experience, which allowed me now to grow in my role, which
Right.
I'm a system administrator. I look after everything, not just the support space.
That's it.
And I
That's
think
it.
the grounding that I got from like just putting myself out there and just learning something new has given me a bit of an advantage. You know what I'm saying? And it shows that your kids now see that, and they'll also take that into their life going forward.
No, you
Yeah,
were
yeah.
saying about finding your passion and then you doing
Yeah,
everything
I think
now.
my passion began when I was very young. I think my uncle introduced me into tech, and my late
Wow.
uncle,
Right.
and he was, I think, very instrumental into my upbringing and what I love and do now. So I'm always grateful, and I truly treasure those moments. But I think
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say is, like, you're showing your kids that
Yeah.
that's kids see what you do. Um,
That's it.
and if they see a positive mindset, a positive environment, they only get the best opportunity to navigate the life going forward. You can't protect them all the time. It's not
That's it.
gonna You can't give them all the answers. I think they're gonna have to figure
That's
it out themselves. And I think what you're doing now for your kids, both yourself and your husband, is truly awesome, and I commend you for that.
Thank you. Thanks, Kish. And that's so important for me because I said the same thing, right? Is you grow up seeing what your life will become or
Yeah,
what you can do or limitations, right? Because we all grow up seeing our parents and our families and our siblings, and like I look at I mean, my dad was also in tech beginning, funny enough, and when mainframes were massive, rooms, and and by the time my sister and I were going into tech, he wasn't there. He was in his own business, sort of doing his own thing. And and exactly like you, homage to my sister, who also is late now, and she's also the one that got me into tech, right? And we worked together. She was my manager. We lived together at one point. It was amazing, but
right.
and I keep thinking about, if it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't have got into tech and found that passion. And she was just as great as I was. And and you're right. I want to prove to my sons that no matter how old you are, no matter I mean, age is nothing. I mean, I knew someone at university when I was in university that was in his 60s that came and studied. He had 3 degrees. He went into retirement and he decided to study again. Why not, right?
Exactly.
Um, you know, you doesn't matter how old you are, you've got to do what is good for you, and it's not just about money as well,
Yes.
because it's not going to make you happy, right? Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to have, but I found that, working in an environment that you enjoy, doing a job you love, doesn't matter what it is. Just do it, try it. Even if you fail forward.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's a line that I really, really stand for these days, even though with my OCD I really hate failure. But
No, I
it
love that.
teaches you a lesson. But it teaches you a lesson, right?
I love that fail forward.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's like how we
absolutely.
grow up. We grow up, we fall, we get nicks, we get cuts, but we get up and we keep going. I think it's like our badge of honor. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. You got to keep trying, because if you
Mhm.
don't know, I mean, if you fall and you know what you did wrong, you're not going to do it again, but you'll
Exactly.
try. You've got to
Yeah.
try. And that's what I keep telling my kids as well. Even like my 7-year-old gets super frustrated when he wants to do something and he can't get it right. And I think it's all of our personality, right? And I say to him, I'm like, no, you've got to try. I said, Dad and I couldn't just do it on the first go. We had to practice. And that's the
Yes.
thing. You've got to practice all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Practice. They always practice makes perfect. It's not
Yeah.
perfect, but
Yeah.
it's practice gives you the more you practice gives you the better chance
That's it.
to succeed at whatever chore you're doing or task you're doing. I
Absolutely.
myself sometimes we procrastinate,
Yeah.
but I feel like even like
Yeah.
this what I'm doing now as a podcast and stuff like that. I think the more I do it, the more comfortable I feel. Like in the
Yeah.
beginning, I was like very apprehensive to start because I
Right.
felt like my voice is not great, or I don't have the right tech, or am I I don't have the right niche to go into. But there's something that clicked in me that just said it's my passion,
Yeah.
it's my calling. There's something that's
Yeah.
just start, just do it, just take put
Right.
out the first episode, and everything will take care of itself. The universe will take care of itself, and
Yeah.
um, that's how I look at things now. Just start something. If you don't feel it, it's okay. Start
Yeah.
something else. You know
That's it. At least you
exactly.
tried. Yeah, at least you tried. And I'm so glad that you said that, because I'm exactly the same. It's just start. It doesn't matter where, when, how. Just start.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's the advice I take out of your story right now, is that we're all going to have hang-ups. We're all going to believe we can't do something, or that we might fail at it, or that it's going to be, I don't know, bad. But if you don't try, if you don't start, you'll
Right.
never know. So you
Yeah.
need to know. Yeah.
No, 100%. That's what actually happened with our move to Canada. It's like people think it was just a linear journey, but the trajectory was just very up and down. We had like several challenges we had to navigate, and not having your support system is very hard. It's
Yeah.
challenging. We don't have like our families to call upon we didn't have anyone to call upon, and we had to sometimes rely on strangers that we didn't know to help us.
Yes.
And thankfully, out of the kindness of their own hearts, like gave us a place to stay, food over food of a plate of food, roof over our heads, and
Right.
just safety
Right.
that we required. And when that didn't work, we found another avenue, and blessings that now whoever's in our lives is people who we feel that uh, you know add value to our lives and we to
Right.
theirs. So
Wow.
there's just about
Wow.
also being grateful for even the experiences that didn't work for you. It's being
That's it.
grateful that you had the experience and you take a lesson out of it. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. It builds character, doesn't it,
yeah,
Gish? It makes
no, it
you who you
does.
are. Right?
Yeah, I think
So,
growing up.
and yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, keep going. Sorry.
No, you go. Growing up, tell me.
No, I think growing up, I think same like you. I think primary school was great, and then I got into high school, and I think I didn't like going to school. I was bullied, every single day. Uh,
Yeah.
wasn't very confident. Lost a lot of self confidence.
Hmm.
And I think the last day of like high school, I was like super relieved because I knew I wasn't going to be in that environment anymore. And when I got into
Yeah.
university, I felt like okay, I think that's when my actual life started to begin to take shape. Yeah.
Right.
Because I found a group of friends that are really close. We come from similar backgrounds, and we've grown up
Right.
together. So super grateful, like, just to have a group of friends like that you just understand, like, where you come from, and what you're trying to achieve. So the support is
Absolutely.
there, even though, like, we don't see each other. We still keep in contact, because I feel it's
Yeah,
important to do so.
it is.
Because you
It is.
never know in life where you might need some help. Even though you're the one giving help, sometimes you also need the help as well.
Absolutely. Full circle, right? I mean, it's you put out there what you're going to receive as well. And if you put the good out there, you're going to receive the good back. And I
Right.
think we both had similar experiences, because I hated high school. I
Yeah.
can't even tell you. And then I was so glad as well when I went to university, and I kind of flourished and also got better confidence. And now I won't allow anybody to take that away from me. So,
No.
I think we also grew up, to be seen and not heard, Kish. And I struggled with that,
Yes. I think
right?
because with the way we grew up, and the way the history of South Africa, the way our
Yes.
parents also, like, moved from where they were originally from, like, 'cause my dad was in Fitas, and
Right.
my mom coming from
Right.
Benoni and stuff, and then moved
Right.
to, like you say, the south of Joburg, where we were just
Right.
segregated, like, in really
Yes.
parts of nowhere. And they always say, Lens is far.
Yeah, exactly. It is far. It is far. And not even further from you.
No.
Like,
But we just had an interesting discussion, and we always talk about is, like, now our generation is trying to put together the pieces of the traumas that we went through as kids. And I think just a pat on our shoulders, like, we're the ones, like, taking on the mental to break those generational curses, so to speak, or practices. But our parents, we have to also give them a bit of leeway, and grandparents, excuse me, and grandparents, because we don't know what exactly they've been through in their upbringing.
absolutely.
Yeah, probably they weren't brave enough to stand up and say, this is not okay. Obviously,
Yeah.
because, I don't know, circumstances we don't know. It's never been spoken about, in our home.
That's it.
Probably maybe for the safety for their kids, just to shelter them. And I get what you're
Yeah.
saying. Like, we don't come from a very expressive environment.
No.
We come from, like, very sheltered environments. Just keep it to yourself. Like you said, seen,
Yes.
not heard.
Yes.
And it's very rare to find that environment where you're able to express yourself, and it's okay
Yeah.
to do so. Whereas now, I
That's
think
it.
you need to show the next generation that it's okay. Express how you feel.
Yeah.
You cannot control the next person's feeling. You cannot
No.
control their reaction to your action. And I think we
Yeah.
always try to control that narrative somehow.
We do. We
Yeah,
do.
and
We do. And the only thing you do have control of is your reaction to anything. That's the only
exactly.
thing you have.
Yeah.
You've got no. But we were taught, and I think they did have a tough life.
Before we continue with today's episode, if you're enjoying it, if I could ask you for a small favor, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It will not only help the channel grow, but it will also allow me to bring you a lot more guests and a lot more experiences. Thank you. Back to the show.
I mean, if I look at our parents, they had a tough life.
Yeah.
They grew up much harder than we did. And it was a safety factor, right? It was. And also, if I think about the fact that my folks, sure, by the time they were in the early 20s when they started having kids. And then my mom was 29 when she had me, right? And I'm the youngest child. That's youngish. I mean, I had my first kid, my mid 30s, my early to mid 30s, and then my other side, my late 30s. And it's a world of difference, because I was no longer a child. I knew who I was. I was more financially stable. I was more emotionally stable. I was just ready to have a family, and I was ready to have kids and not be selfish. But they didn't have that. And also, I think, generational curses are hard to break. I've seen some of the kids who still live the same way that our parents did, right? And they haven't learned that. And I'm trying to teach my sons that, it's tough for me because I don't have daughters, right? And I always think to myself, my gosh, I would, I want my sons to stand up for women, especially, right? Because especially in the tech industry where we're so few of us.
Right.
you almost see more indiscretions and more stuff. And I'm so confident that I will stand up for it. I my latest saying is I don't have to be everybody's cup of tea. It's okay, because
No.
some people prefer coffee or whiskey, and that's fine.
Different
Right?
flavors of life.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with not everybody liking me, but I'm trying to grow my sons up to being that confident as well. Is to say it's okay to express yourself. It's okay to say you don't like something. It's okay to have opinions, and as small as you are. My 3-year-old, if he doesn't want to do something, I'm like, okay, don't do it. It's fine.
Yeah.
You don't want to do it. We they have expressions, they have feelings, they have, no matter how old they are. And I think we weren't allowed that, Kish. We weren't allowed. And I think now some of us are pretty damaged adults because we don't know how to express ourselves. And especially because I mean, and I'm just gonna throw it out there now. Like I saw your face when you said your late uncle, when you talked about your late uncle. It's very similar to how I feel when I talk about my sister. It's you emotional.
Mm.
You want to say something about it, but it's almost like we weren't taught that it was okay to grieve. And we weren't taught that it was okay to express certain things. So we struggle. So we
Mm.
were like, should we do it? Shouldn't we do it? We're like on this fence, right? And I really am trying to say to my sons that it's okay to feel anything and everything.
Yeah. And everyone's timeline of how they how they deal with situations and process emotions is different. And I think I
Yeah.
struggled with that in my relationships. A lot of them failed. And I look back
Yeah.
at it and like, what could I have done differently?
Yeah.
Maybe if I had known what I know now,
Yeah.
maybe things would have been different. But I also understand that the universe was always just putting me in situations there or scenarios where I had to learn something from those experiences,
Yeah.
which is now
Yeah.
then brought me to where I am right now and sitting right here and talking about
Yeah.
these things and trying to just
That's it.
give people a voice to say, this is what I went through, this is what I was feeling, and give somebody else a chance to say, hey, you know what? I know them. I know exactly who they are and what they come
Yeah.
from the same environment as me, and
Yeah.
you know, I'm not alone. End of
Yes.
the day, we always that's the main thing I take out of all is these experiences. Is I always felt alone, and I always
Yeah.
felt like I was the only one going through it.
Going through
And
it.
yeah,
Yes.
and I know like I lost a lot of friends through suicide a couple of years now in the last couple of years. And, you know, I myself was there as well, like where I always thought of just like ending it, and thankfully I didn't because I didn't, I was just overthinking everything. And but I always think like if those people just had just a little bit of courage just to say I'm not okay
Yeah.
to
That's it.
somebody, to
Oh my God.
somebody, to somebody,
Right.
not just
Yeah.
me or your father or
Yeah.
mother, even just to uh, uh, just even just to a stranger and say,
Yeah.
look, I'm or somebody that you've grown up with,
Mm.
or I'm not okay, I need help.
Yeah.
uh,
That's it.
that's the
Oh,
first step of just acknowledging the fact that you need help, and we sometimes too proud to say that we need help, especially like trying to like figure things out by ourselves. We want to be
yeah.
like, He-Man and
Yeah.
Superman and just try and figure
Yeah.
things out and take the bullets for everybody. But we can't. End of the day,
You
we
can't.
we have to look after ourselves first to actually look after other people. Like I always use that analogy of the plane when the safety
Absolutely. Yeah.
put your mask on first before you help your
First.
kids.
Absolutely. Gosh, Kish, you made me so emotional right now because I mean, I didn't know that about you. I would have never have said that, by the way, because I mean, I've always seen you as this really strong person.
No, 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 don't
But,
it
it's
that's
not
why
about that.
no, no, it's not about that. Hence why I do what I do now is because I'm taking
Right.
that experience and trying
Right.
to make sure that whoever is going through what they're going through now
Right.
has, just has something to know that they're not alone. And
That's
you
it.
can the journey is tough. Don't tell me it sucks. It's like, oh my God, you have no idea how hard it is. You know how many,
Exactly. Exactly.
but
Everybody sees this great life on social media or whatever you portray because it's always the positive that we share, right? And we tend not to share the negative. And that's a downside. And you're right. And don't get me wrong when I say it, I always thought you were strong. I think you're actually stronger now for what you have said. because I didn't know that you had gone through that, and it makes me emotional because so many people can attest to what you just said and
Yeah.
can and relate to that, right? And I know for a fact that I was never in that space specifically, but I suffer a lot of PTSD, like I told you as well, because of experiences that I've had. And you do fall into a slump, into a depression, and there are things that you would have struggled from. And I recently almost had a mental breakdown after my sister passed away. And it's exactly what you just said. I had to grow into a version of myself to say it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
I had to. I had to get out of that version of it's, Nadia will save everybody. Everybody can come to me. I will take your emotions, I will take your grief, I will take your pain, and I will hold you up no matter what. But the problem with that is you can't even hold yourself up at that
Yeah.
point.
Your cup was full by then. You couldn't take on
That's it.
anymore. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you actually at a detriment to yourself, Kish. So everything you just said is so relevant to everything I feel. I promise you, it's been my mantra for months and months and months. And I especially, I even started something called Journeys to Inspire, which is to talk to women and neurodiverse people and even guys who are struggling. We've got OCD, ADHD, all the other stuff, all the
Right.
other acronyms, fun
Yeah.
stuff. Um, that it's okay to talk about it. It's okay. People think it's our shortcomings. I don't
No.
think it's a shortcoming. I think my OCD made me great at my job. My PTSD made me a great human. Um, you know, and because I'm way more empathetic than I ever was, and that's
Yes.
because I know what bad experiences are, right?
Yeah.
And I think sometimes having experienced those bad things, you can so much relate to someone else who's going through a difficult position,
Yeah. And
right?
just show a little bit of compassion, towards that.
Compassion.
And it also goes, I think, both ways. Like I think we stand strong now, and we don't take crap from anybody, uh,
Yeah.
because there's so much. I mean, there's also a lot of like those kind of energies around, and people will try and like passive aggressively,
Yeah.
just portray their own shortcomings and feelings onto you. But you also have to set healthy boundaries and say, what, it's not okay. But there's ways of, you can be very kind to them and say, what, this is not okay.
Yes.
Or if you're a very expressive person, you say it how it is. And if they don't like
Yeah.
it, tough.
Too bad. Yeah.
Too bad. I mean, my wife is very, very straightforward, and
Yeah.
she always says the truth, no matter
Yeah.
how hard it is to hear at times, but it's
Yeah.
relevant. I always thought, like, don't say something that you're gonna make somebody feel bad about. But
Yeah.
it's not about that. It's the truth end of the day, and
Right.
you can either take that truth and
Yeah.
work on it, or
Yeah.
work through it, or see it as a uh, an aggressive approach to say, why are you challenging me? You don't know me,
That's
or you
that's it.
don't know my upbringing. But
That's it.
it's the perspectives that they bring, right? And we have to
Right.
also, especially like within family dynamics, because we
Yes.
live in a family dynamic, like wolf packs. The wolf pack will follow each other
Yes.
until kingdom come. But only when one starts to remove themselves away from uh, things that are not okay, and look at it from a
Right.
holistic and outside perspective,
Right.
you take the positives and negatives out of everything. And the
Yes.
positives, what we had great upbringings, we had safety nets, we had
Yes.
great education our own life. I think the way we had our education in Indonesia, and we had top class teachers.
Yes.
Even though
Yes.
our personal experiences weren't, probably great
Great.
at some point
Yeah.
in our education, but they gave us values. They gave us,
Absolutely.
you know, discipline. Just
Building
simple,
blocks.
yeah, simple
Yes.
foundations. Like, I feel like we just
Mhm.
had all of that. Even sporting wise, I think
Absolutely.
there's amazing opportunities, not opportunities, but we had great times to express ourselves in ways that we couldn't.
Yeah.
And we had swimming pools, cricket grounds, soccer grounds, rugby fields, hockey,
Yeah.
everything that you wanted to do, volleyball. Uh,
Yeah.
we had the opportunities. So I commend like the generation prior to us for actually
Yes.
standing up and doing what was right. Because if they didn't do that, we wouldn't have had the opportunities that we did.
True. True.
You know,
Absolutely.
so we take the positives, and the negative side of it was we just lived in a siloed environment where we just
Yes.
shut off from everything, and we didn't really
Yes.
see the bigger picture because you don't want to feel unsafe. And I think
Mm.
stepping out of that net and
Mm.
taking a chance is actually more of a positive than a negative, because then you see you actually test yourself uh,
Mm.
more, and you actually get to see your resilience level uh, in a far more testing environment. And you see the light. Like, trust me, it doesn't take a lot to just put yourself in a space where being uncomfortable is okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
and feeling that they actually say you got to be comfortable in your uncomfortableness. You
That's
That's
it.
when you're like, okay, I'm okay. But it takes a very long it takes a very long time to get there. It takes a lot of hard work, a lot of
Yeah.
sacrifice, a lot of personal bereavement, like emotional release. It takes a
Yes.
lot of that hard work, and I think a lot of people don't want to do that work.
It's perseverance as well.
Yeah,
It's introspectiveness. It's looking at
yeah,
yourself and saying, what can I change? What can I do better? Absolutely, Kish. You're spot on.
yeah. So, and I would have only found that out if I had the
Mm.
experiences I did. Otherwise, I wouldn't have
Yeah.
known. So,
No,
and I
absolutely.
take the positives out of it, and I just try and help whatever, or try and you know put a positive spin on things and give somebody else the best chance that they can to succeed in life.
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing. And you're right. And I think you're onto something here. I think you should start coaching people, by the way. No, really, because Kish, I mean, you say it took long. It may have taken you long and me long, but we still got there. Other people didn't. Other people haven't yet.
Yes.
I mean, look at our folks. Look at our, like, there's plenty of our generation that's walking around totally oblivious. And I think to myself, life is hard. It's not going to be easy. And if you expect it to be, I don't know how do you get experience? How do you gain any perspective if life's easy? If my life wasn't as hard as it was, like you say, you wouldn't become the person you are. You wouldn't have had the experiences. You wouldn't have molded you into the person that you could be.
Yes.
And someone once said to me as well, they like, oh, how are you still so positive? And I'm like, you had two choices. You could wallow and you could fall into this version of yourself that everybody feels sorry for you and you feel sorry for yourself, or you could make a difference and you could change and you could just learn from that experience, even though you had nothing, no choices for it to be have made for you. It happened to you, but you move forward. You move forward, you change, you decide, I want a better version of myself, and that's what you choose. But it's all a choice at the end of the day. I mean, you chose not to take your life. That's a massive decision as well.
Yeah.
um it's choosing to do something else, and that's the thing. It might not be the right thing. That's also okay, but again, it's failing forward, right?
Yeah. Look, I probably have spoken about this. Like, at the time, there was a point in I think 2019. It was 6 months just before I came to Canada, and
Right.
I was admitted into hospital for 2 weeks uh,
Wow.
for
Yeah.
depression. And a lot of people will probably think it's what happened, but I think it's the best thing that happened to me during that time, because
Wow.
it gave me the chance to actually sit and really reflect on what was happening in my life at that time.
Right.
Um,
Right.
I mean, I also like having that exposure to other people who are actually also going through a lot of anxiety, a lot of grief, a
Yeah.
lot of serious illnesses that you always see on TV. You watch these
That's it.
documentaries and stuff, and you think to yourself, I hope um, I hope I don't end up in that situation. But sometimes life puts you in that situation to teach you a lesson.
That's it. That's
Uh,
it.
and it
Yeah.
was my wife always says, like, your actions don't just only affect you; they affect
That's it.
the people
Everyone around.
around you. And I was selfish. I didn't think about that. I didn't think that my actions would cause so much cause a ripple effect, and cause so much of damage. And I get it. Within introspection, you think to yourself, okay, what can I do better the next time so I don't? And every day is not the same. Like, you still have days where you just feel like absolute crap, and but you have the tools now to navigate those
Yes.
situations a bit better. And I think
Yeah.
that's what it is. Like, we just have to take those experiences and use them as tools to
Definitely.
navigate our everyday lives, basically.
Yeah. No,
And
you're right. And ask for help, right? Because it's so easy not to ask for help. It's so easy to just wallow into and I know exactly what you're saying about the depression. I suffer from very high anxiety, and it's not a fun place to be. And like, oh, I also come across as someone who doesn't have that issue, because I'm always like super happy and bubbly all the time. But there's moments where my anxiety gets the better of me. And now I show it. Now I tell people. Now I tell my kids. I'm like, Mom doesn't feel great, guys. I'm sorry. I can't. I can't play right now. I can't do certain things. And my husband now, he understands me and he looks at me and he says, "Are you overwhelmed?" And I'm like, "I do feel
yeah,
overwhelmed. I am. I just need to go and sit down. I just need to go read my book. I just need to not have the kids screaming. And, you know, you just need to check out. And that's okay.
mm,
You can't, if you can't be there for yourself, Kish. Like, I mean, like, if I can't take that moment for myself, how do I expect there to be there in a positive light for my children?
yeah,
And that for me scares me, right? It really scares me is that if 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 I am pushing back all my own feelings, my own hurts, my own, you know, everything, how do I show them that it's okay to feel that way? And then also, I'm not giving them the best version that they deserve. I really am not, you know. So I get what you're saying, and sometimes we have to. And I'm kind of glad your wife was tough love on you, right?
oh yeah.
Because
I
sometimes,
I sometimes don't want to like accept it. Like, why are you being like this? Why
yeah,
can't you just be soft
yeah,
and
yeah,
kind? But at the end of
no,
the day, it's true love. And
yes,
it's just honest feedback, and she just wants
right,
the best for me, and that's the best. Like,
absolutely,
that's her way of expressing love towards me and showing that she loves me, because she also
right.
wants me to be the better version of myself
Absolutely,
for
not
us,
just for her,
not
but
just
for
for
you.
me, but for us,
Yes, that's it. So
and
it's
vice
both
versa.
ways.
Like,
Yeah,
now I am also
absolutely.
like, I tell her exactly sometimes the truth. I was never like that
Right,
person. I would never stand up I was very anti-confrontational. Like,
right,
I couldn't be in confrontations. I was very shy. I was very scared, to be honest.
right,
Very, very
right.
scared to approach situations where I was very uncomfortable. But now I look at it as a more of a learning experience. Like, you stand up to not stand. You don't have to be aggressive. You don't have to be,
You
you
don't have
know.
to be ugly. That's
Yeah,
it.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. You just stand up in your voice and you express how you
Right.
feel, and whether they accept that or not, it's not your problem.
No,
But you
no,
speaking your truth, and I think I struggled with that for a long
that's it.
time. I struggled with my truth.
Right,
I struggled to
right,
accept my truth, and I struggle to
right.
accept that sometimes I'm not a great person, because we all like want to be this, person that's right, person that never makes a mistake, person that's just always
Yeah,
got it all together. But there are times when like I would say, I'm a total douche. I'm a total,
yeah.
I'm a total, you know,
I love it. Yeah,
and but my wife points it out to me that that's what I was, and I'll
right.
take that. Okay, yeah, in that moment I didn't apologize. I should have, and I'm sorry. I'll
Yeah.
try and do better the next time. And
Next time.
just,
Right,
yeah, and we have these discussions, and we that's how I think we felt like growing into into our relationships, and we bring that how we grow up into our relationships when we don't have the experience and we make mistakes. And I think I'm seeing it now with a lot of my close friends and family and stuff. And separation is not a it's not an unnorm nowadays in our
right,
societies. It's
right.
such a an open thing now that a lot of people are just walking away from their relationships. And it's
Right.
like unheard of, right? Within our communities, divorce was and separation
Right.
was never a thing, right?
Right.
And
Right.
now you've you understand like how much work it is, how much work goes into a relationship, whether it be with your partner or your
Absolutely.
whoever it is in life. It's
Any relationship.
it's constant work.
Yes.
It's constant
Yes.
growing. It's constant learning. There are times where you
Yes.
have to accept you're wrong, uh,
Yes.
and I think it's just about open communication. Sometimes we don't do it. We
Yeah.
forget because we default mode back into our the way we were programmed.
Mhm.
Like you say, we have to recode ourselves. you
We
know,
do.
we
We
recode
do.
ourselves every single day.
That's it. And Kish, all those things that were societal norms, like I don't understand this version of normal society norms, or I'm like, I kick back against all of that, right? I'm like, what is normal? Because your version and my version could be totally different,
Right,
right? So your version of normal could be, you know, a man, wife, or husband, wife, 2.5 kids, that's normal, right? And boy, girl, that's normal. And I'm like, okay, but your version or someone else's version just may be you single on your own, living your best life, or you say, living you and your wife, without kids, living your best life, you and your husband and husband, wife and wife.
right,
That is normal, right? And I'm like, who are we to say what's not normal? Right?
exactly.
So even being divorced, uh, you know, choosing yourself is should be acceptable. That's what I say. And if one person is not okay with how a relationship is going, I don't care if divorce is normal or not normal by your standards. If the person chooses that they're choosing themselves, I'm like, good for them. You know what I mean? And that's the thing, is that we need to stop with the societal pressures, and I think
Pressures,
that's what we're going.
100%. Yeah,
It's going to kill our next generation as well, right? Because
yeah.
I swear to you, there's so much societal pressure. Kish, I've never felt as much pressure as I did as a mom. My goodness gracious, as a brown girl who phew, waited until she was in her 30s to get married, then in her 30s to have children, then in her late 30s to have the second one. I was like, and I went against all the norms and the pressures, and then I was like, and then I'm career driven, so that drove so many people crazy as well. And I'm
But
just like,
why? Like that's the question
that's
we
it,
always
yeah,
ask. But why? Why is that? Why is that not okay? Why do we feel like we have to have a timeline
exactly.
and do certain
That's
things in
it.
life? I know,
That's
I
it.
understand. Like our parents did everything early in life. They had their kids early.
Right.
My mom had like my elder sister at the age of like
Yes.
19, and then us,
Right.
within a 5 year span. And
Wow.
that was normal.
Crazy.
Like that was normal for them at
Crazy.
that point in time, right? Like
Exactly.
timelines have shifted. Like the world is
Yes.
not the same place it was 30 years
No.
ago or whatever
No.
time. And
No.
uh, like we said, we have to like just navigate or help people understand. It's okay wherever you are in your life, whatever timeline. That's your journey. Your
That's
like
it.
your journey is different to the next person sitting next to you. They could be
Absolutely.
3 kids down the line, like you said,
That's
at
it.
the age of 30, which is cool. That's your journey,
That's
and
you. That's you. That's up
super
to
happy.
you. That's it.
Exactly.
Yes.
But like you
Yes.
said, just projecting that societal norms onto everybody else is also a bit of
It's wrong.
yeah. We
It's
shouldn't.
wrong.
Yeah, just give people time to actually have
Figure
the best life.
themselves out.
Yeah, because that
Yes.
in life we only
Because
learn like we have
yeah.
one life. We learn at different
That's it.
paces. We all have different challenges that we go through, and not everybody is the same. You know, and we
Yeah.
shouldn't
That's
put
it.
ourselves in those boxes.
You absolutely shouldn't. Like I had friends of mine that other day that said to me, um, "Are they not planning to have kids?" And I was like, "Oh, cool, nice." And they were like, "What?" And I'm like, "No, you chose." And they were like, "You are the first person to ever tell us, oh, cool, like, and leave it at that." They were like, "Oh, you'll." Other people say, "Oh, you'll change your mind," or
Yeah,
you'll. And I'm like, "No, if you don't want to have kids, you have no idea, firstly, how tough having kids are, because you have to be the most selfless version of yourself. Otherwise, you are not giving your kids what they deserve. Secondly, I'm like, if you choose not to, that's on you. Nobody else has that decision to make. Nobody has to raise. And the thing is, I've seen too many people neglect their children because they never wanted them, Kish. So why? Why put yourself in a situation where you shouldn't have had them? You're not going to give them the best life. You can't take a life back. You can't. You can't take a child's childhood back, a child's experiences back.
No.
You can't say the words that you say to your child. And I'm sorry, for me, the biggest thing is I never want to screw my boys up. I just don't. It's like such a thing for me and my husband, right? We were like, we can't screw these two lives up because we fought so hard to have them. I had a lot of fertility issues, Kish. I had 3 miscarriages. It was,
So sorry to
it
hear.
wasn't, it's okay. It wasn't a fun ride.
Mm.
It wasn't a fun ride, right? And it was years of IVF and fertility treatments, money that we just never would get back. But at the end of the day, those two lives are the most important thing to me, right? And I always say, I appreciate it because I went through so much of grief, but I
Right.
see other women and other men as well who just never wanted kids, and that's okay. It's okay.
Do,
I
do
don't
you
know. I don't know. I'm so tired of that.
so like how do you find like that kind of balance now with your career and stuff, and managing a family with a high pressure job? How do you how do you manage that?
Hard, very hard, very very difficultly. I'm not gonna say I have it down because I must admit, for me, I don't believe there is such a thing as work-life balance.
Right.
I did lose one of my kids when I was quite far along in my pregnancy. I lost my daughter, and I was you know in a high pressured environment, and I do believe that I lost my child due to was circumstantial. Yes, it should have happened when it happened, but I was under a lot of pressure at the time, and I was under a lot of stress, and I think that contributed to it. Didn't make it any easier. It wasn't ideal circumstances for a healthy pregnancy. Let's put it that way.
Right.
And I think after that, because my son was an absolute miracle child, Gish, my second son, like that boy, I decided I don't want to have more kids because I couldn't. I couldn't suffer another loss after the other 3. And then this one, my little boy, I'd gone back on contraceptives again after 7 years of being off it. I had said to my husband, nope, we're done with this and whatever. He was still conceived. So, and from 11 weeks till about 19 weeks, I bled, and I nearly lost him so many times. But he was my miracle child, and I made a conscious decision then, as I left a job that was also very high pressured, and I chose him because I was in a difficult situation again, and I chose him and I chose me, and when I went back to work into corporate after I think we stayed together 8 months, the two of us. We spent 8 months together. And when I went back into corporate, I made a conscious decision that there will be days where I will have to prioritize what is important.
Right.
And the days that my children are important are the days that I will tell work, thank you, but my sons come first right now. And then the days where work takes slight higher priority over my children, which is very rarely, then I'm like, okay, boys, mom's just got to finish this. Mom's just got to do that. I'm studying at the moment. I've got my husband's incredible. Doing your masters with having 2 small kids is tough. I can't even tell you how tough it is. And people ask me all the time, how do you do it? And I say, if I didn't have him, I wouldn't be able to, because it's about your support system. It's about my parents who are
100%. Yeah.
My parents are so phenomenal.
That support structure, like you talk about.
It is.
It's that's the foundation to everything that you need to that you're trying to accomplish.
Absolutely, because you can't do it alone, right?
No.
And my parents, my boys, my husband and the 2 boys go to my folks for the whole day, 2 days in a row on a weekend. My mom will feed them the entire day just so I can get assignments done and just so I can study. And I think for me, Kish, it's a balance of, it's not a work-life balance, it's a balance of what I think is important for that day
Right.
and everyday changes. If I know I've got to do my son's homework with him, then that I will plan that. If I know I've got to cook supper, I will plan it during my day. And then there's other days where I'm in meetings till 6, 7 o'clock in the evening, and that's okay as well. My boys understand mom's working, but I make sure to give them the balance that they
Give them
don't
the
feel
time.
any.
Give them the time that they require.
That's
And
it.
how do you manage like when unexpectedness happens or curveballs happen? Like how do you manage? I know you struggle with a lot of anxiety, and so how do
Yeah,
you like, what kind
yeah,
of like self care or what kind of like things do you do to just help yourself decompress and navigate those challenges?
yeah, yeah. I think again, Kish, it's that it is tough, especially with the boys when they're small. They don't really understand when unexpected stuff comes up. So it is tough. There's a little bit of tantrums, and I get that, and I know and I understand that. So
Right.
I'm like, okay, I've got to make up for this. For myself, I throw myself into a bit of a tailspin. I do because I unexpected plans trigger your OCD and your anxiety quite a lot. People
Right.
don't believe me when I tell them that, but it's the truth. And uh, when I'm thrown into that type of environment, I do try to calm myself down. So I will take a 15 minutes or a half an hour out somewhere when that happens,
Okay.
and I will just decompress. I have to. If I don't, I end up in this tailspin, and I've had panic attacks in the past, and it's not healthy for me or my children or anybody else.
Those aren't fun.
No, they are most certainly
No,
not.
they're not fun.
You do feel like you're dying. I'm not even gonna
Yeah.
lie. And my most difficult panic attack was over an hour long. It
Wow.
was over an hour,
Okay,
and
that's long.
to the point where my husband wanted to take me to the hospital because I couldn't breathe.
Wow.
And I think you learn what your triggers are. You learn
Mm.
what to not do, but then you also learn to look at the positives. And I like to say, there's this thing called glimmers. There's things in your day that make you smile. There's things in your
Yes.
day that. So when I'm having that tailspin, and I think to myself, why are you doing this? What are you doing it for? You know.
Right.
So I read a lot, Kish. I read.
Okay.
I don't watch TV anymore. I haven't watched TV in about 4 years now,
Wow.
and the reason being is because it triggers my anxiety. So
Okay.
if there's action movies or there's very high emotions with my PTSD, I'm so triggered. I have nightmares. I can't sleep. I
Right.
have anxiety. I have insomnia. And since I've stopped that, I've actually calmed myself down so much. And I just read and read and read. I go through a book a day.
Do
But
you go to traditional therapy as well?
I do. I
Okay.
did. I did for a long time. I just recently stopped because I think
You
I
have the
have got it.
space. Okay.
Yes. I'm in a space where I did try medication. I must be honest with you, it didn't work for me personally. But I did try it for a while. But the therapy did help. And I
Okay.
think finding a good therapist is good for you. Someone who my therapist gave me proper tough love, similar to your wife, to be honest. And I needed it. I needed it. And sometimes you just need that kick up the
Yes.
butt, right?
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
and I'm a firm believer in therapy because I know our generation doesn't believe in mental health.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's why I'm doing what I'm doing is to like, make it a a normal functioning existence of
that's
life.
it.
It's
It
not
is.
like we say, "Are you mad?" We used to always say, "Why are you mad?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Get over
yeah,
it. Just get
yeah.
over it. No,
That's it.
yeah, it's not that anymore. It's more about
It's not.
it's more about just expressing how you feel, and it's okay. Like you're having a tough day.
Yeah,
You don't have to mask it or cover it up, and
that's it.
sometimes you just need to sit and wallow and cry and release, and that's okay. You need to
Yes,
do those things some days, and some days
yes.
you have this energy from nowhere, and you can just go.
That's
You
it.
know
And you can be everybody's everything.
exactly.
You can be the hero that day, right? But even heroes need a break.
Heroes need sidekicks.
That's it. Exactly. No, Gish, the vulnerability thing is it's probably one of the hardest things I ever had to do was to tell my husband I need help, to tell my parents I can't do everything for you anymore.
Right.
I can't be there, especially when they lost my sister. It was tough. And to also just say I can't be everybody's hero all the time. It was a tough place to be because you don't become popular, because you have to say no to a lot of people
Yes.
who always got a yes, right? And they struggle with that. But once I got into a space where I was like, okay, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with the decisions I've made, because guess what? I did it for me. And
Yeah.
I'm so much healthier now. And
And then you can give the
honestly,
best version of yourself to them, right?
that's it. And to my children. My children deserve it. Kish,
Yeah.
I can't tell you. My boys are my absolute priority. And I just want to be the best version for them.
Yeah.
I wish
They
I
show.
didn't have to go through all of those tough things I did, because it made me a bit crazy, you know. But
No, it's life lessons. It's life
it's
lessons.
life lessons.
We're all
Absolutely.
crazy in a little way. We all,
We're all crazy in a small
yeah,
way, for
we all
sure.
have
For sure.
our flaws, and
Our moments.
yes, we all do. That's life. That's just life,
It is
you
life.
know.
It is life.
And it's normal.
Kish,
It's okay.
yeah. Kish, can I get my battery quickly?
Yeah,
My
sure. No problem.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Can
yeah.
I come
Yeah,
back?
yeah, no problem. Go for it,
You'll
go
be
for it,
able
go
to
for it.
trim this part out, right?
Yes, I
Okay.
will. I will.
Give me a second. Okay.
So I wanted to ask you,
Yeah.
what advice would you give like to other moms, or dads, or anybody who are in high pressured environments, and also need to like find that comfort of like you said, not work life balance, but find that yin and yang to navigate any kind of anxieties or pressures that they're going through.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think one of the one of the best piece of advice that I got personally that helped me was, and I want to pass it on because it's not my own, is you're not going to get it. You're not going to get everything right.
Hmm.
And the quicker you get that, and the quicker you understand that you are going to drop balls, there is going to go something's going to. You cannot be the perfect parent,
Right.
but you cannot be the perfect ideal, kind of person, like working person as well. Something's got to give somewhere. Um, and the thing that I took out of that, which was my own, was the prioritization. Is really find what the priorities are for that day. I had a recent instance where I was invited to a new team to help them with something, and there was a call that was happening from 4 to 5 every day, sort of thing. And the first 2 days, the call went off at 5:30, 4:45. Then the next day it
Next,
happened
yeah,
again.
yeah.
By the third day, and I've got those 2 golden hours between 5 and 7 with my sons, is like, bathing time, feeding time, supper
Right,
time, all of that.
routine.
And I would
You have
cook.
their routine set. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And then spend time with them at that time. So by the third day, I unmuted at 5 o'clock, and I said, "Gents," because I was the only female, and I was like, "Gents, I'm jumping off. Thank you. I've got to go cook supper. I'll see you guys tomorrow." And I didn't wait for a response because I didn't think one was necessary.
Exactly.
And that's the other thing, is I'm never apologetic anymore about things that I have to do,
Right.
right? So I cut the call. The next day I got back onto the meeting, and they all started laughing and joking, and they were like, "Oh yeah, so what was for supper today?" And "Oh, yesterday." And it's so nice that you've got. And I was like, "Whoa, whoa." I said, "Is this not a meeting for this?" And they were like, "Yeah." I said, "So why are we discussing my personal life?" I
100%.
said, "You said
Yeah,
a
you're setting
meeting,
healthy boundaries, right?
right?" And that's it. That's it. That's where I was going. You set a meeting from 4 to 5. I respected the time that you set the meeting for. Please respect my time. I said,
Exactly.
if you want to go on for another half an hour, 45 minutes, or an hour, then please set it for that time. And I said, when I'm done talking about this, I said, let's move on. And let's just say the meeting runs now from 4 to 5 every day, 5 o'clock before
Well
it
done.
drops off. Someone messaged me on the side and said, "You have bigger balls than I do," and I said, "Yeah, thank you, I do."
No,
You
but
know,
also like it's not about having that bigger ball.
it's
Just about setting healthy boundaries, because I mean,
thank
you
you.
yourself have a personal life that you need to attend to, and you have you also you you're taking on the responsibility of the meeting and from 4 to 5, but
That's
you
it.
also have
That's it.
your
Other,
responsibilities after that. So, and just as
that's it.
much as you respect their time, they need to respect yours. That's it.
That's it. And if someone starts at 9 in the afternoon or 9 in the morning and wants to work till 5, 6 in the afternoon, that's on them. I start at 7 in the morning and I'm working till 5, and I'm not, but respect my boundaries. And that's the thing is, don't be apologetic for having boundaries, firstly.
Yeah,
And the other thing is, don't be apologetic for setting and keeping those boundaries.
yeah,
So, you know, respect my time, I respect yours. Everybody just works happier, like really. And I mean, now everybody, the synergy is so much greater,
exactly.
because they know I wasn't a pushover, right? And I set that boundary right from the beginning. It's when you don't do it and it comes up like
Yeah,
months or years later, then people see you as being difficult, and
right.
that's not fair either. But that's the advice I would give to
Okay, good.
parents: is set your boundaries at work, and then it's okay to tell your kids that you can't do something that day. It's okay not to be. I think the previous generation kind of left us to ourselves. I remember us, Kish, walking to school, at grade one, and you're 5 years old, 6 years old, you're walking to school, and it was fun. And this generation, it's almost like we feel like we need to make it up, right? We
Yeah,
need to make up for all of those things.
that's
So we are there
100%.
24
Yeah,
7 for our children. We are there. We are at the beck and call. Like I am there. Like I am at more kids' social events than I am at my own
own.
because, right? Because they've got social lives. And
Yeah,
it's not disappointing them. It's also setting boundaries for you and them,
yeah,
because
yeah.
we cannot be there. You will be torn limb from limb, trying to put yourself in 10 different directions. And I see so many of my friends doing that constantly now, and it's not
Healthy.
sustainable.
Yeah, it's not
No,
healthy.
it's
It's a
not.
funny story. I'll share a story with you. When you
Yeah,
say like, you're walking to school and stuff,
no,
and our parents didn't have that time, and like my dad
right,
was working, he was the sole provider. And my mom was the
right, right,
uh, we call them home engineers. We'll say home engineers.
right,
Good.
right.
Uh,
Absolutely. They got jobs too, right?
yes,
Yeah,
yes. I mean, she looked after the house. She took care of us, from a
right.
domestic perspective, and super grateful and super
Yes.
humble for giving us all that. But there's a time when I wanted to play cricket, and Bakers was starting, to give lessons. We decided, okay, they announced this at school, and we walked ourselves. I think we were like 5, 6 years old, and we walked all the way from Extension 3 all the way to Lens Cricket Stadium by ourselves.
Exactly.
Nobody, there was no hand holding,
So
nothing.
dangerous.
I think if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have been playing cricket. So,
Exactly.
those
That's the
kind of,
thing.
uh,
We were super independent as really young children, and I think, and I look at my 7-year-old, and he can't survive without us. Like I spend an awful lot of time at with my children because I work from home. So when school ends at 2 o'clock, both my boys are at home. I'm here. They've got a nanny, yes, but primarily still the comfort, the food, all of that comes from mom. And so, you know, it's me. So I spend an awful lot of time with my sons, and I think, way more than our parents did, or whatever. And I think we do need to call boundaries because the guilt kicks in. Oh,
right.
mom guilt is a real thing, Ish. It's a proper thing, and people don't talk about it often enough. But mom guilt is a real thing, and you have to say it's okay. You can't be there 24/7 all the time for your kids, or like you just can't.
Yeah,
It's not, like you said, it's not healthy, it's not sustainable,
sustainable.
and it isn't. And I think you have to look after yourself as well. So if you're giving everything to your children, what are you keeping for yourself?
Yeah, exactly. And I think also
Yeah,
like it's
and
a
to work.
struggle. Yeah, I think it's also a lot of struggles for single parents, who actually don't
Yes,
have the support of
support.
their partners, and I think they're
Yeah,
trying to navigate. Also trying to have a career, provide for their kids,
Yeah.
and also struggling,
Yeah.
mentally fatigued as well. So I
Yeah.
think what you said was spot on. It's like sometimes even those parents, the single ones as well, also need to understand that they need to take time for themselves to be there
Yes.
for their kids in a,
Yes.
I wouldn't say 100% capacity, but because you can't give 100% 24/7,
100%.
but you can
No.
give as much as you can at that point in time.
Yes.
So they just need to be
Yes.
kind to themselves. Also, just give themselves a
That's
break.
it.
I think a lot of
That's
us,
it.
don't give we're not kind to ourselves. We don't give ourselves the,
No.
the
No.
the chance to be not okay. We just we
That's
just
it.
keep we're just so critical of ourselves, and we want to like
Yeah.
overachieve, and oh, am I not?
That's it.
There's other days something like we I was thinking about something, or I had a chat with somebody, I don't remember, but with my previous guest, when we feel like when we're sitting and doing nothing, we feel guilty for not
That's
doing
it.
something.
For not doing something right. We are a generation of overachievers. We are a generation, and the be kind to yourself. It's the fact that it's okay if you can't accomplish everything that you want to do in that day. It's
Right.
okay. Like you it's I don't know, it's so frustrating for me that I know how I used to be, right? And I'm so glad I'm not in that space anymore. Because I needed the reality check of watching my mom, right? And let me ask you a question. Do you ever remember your mother being sick? Right? If you have to
Yeah.
think that hard, if you have to think that hard. And
They
let me
were.
tell you, it's not that she wasn't.
She was.
It's she was. But
Yeah.
irrespective of whether she was sick or not, you never saw it because she did everything she would have on a day that she was healthy.
Hmm.
And who did that benefit? Not her. Most certainly not her. And I had to come to terms with the fact that I I was sad for my mom because now that she's older and I watch her and I look at the things she does when she's sick and stuff. And I say to her, Mom, you don't have to do it. You don't. And she thinks she does.
Hmm.
And I'm like, no, I got rid of the guilt that says if I'm sick, go and lay down, go
Yes.
and take time out. You don't have to be with the children. You don't have to talk. You don't have. I got rid of that guilt because if I'm not going to be okay, I'm going to be resentful and I'm going to be angry and irritable, and nobody deserves that version of me, including myself,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So I think that's important, Kish, and I think as men as well. Like I've said this to my husband, I've watched my father, and I'm like, you can feel things. It's okay to tell me you cannot manage. It's okay to tell me you're not doing okay today. It's okay to tell me that you need help. Whether it's, you just want to vent, you just want to take a drive, you just want to tell me, tell
Hmm.
me. And that's the thing, we don't do that. We curl into ourselves, we sit with our own emotions, and then the problem with that is one day we explode
Oh,
and then
yeah.
it
That's
becomes
not
this
nice. Yeah, that's not.
not a good
I'm like that. I have that.
we all
That
like that.
issue. Yeah, like just bottle everything
Yes,
up, and when it gets to the top of the lid comes off, and it just overflows,
that's
and
it.
it's like lava. It's
That's
not
it.
nice, and it's just ugly
Yeah,
versions of ourselves. It's not nice.
it is. It
Yeah,
is.
but we
And
thought it was.
no
We
one
thought
would.
I thought that was okay, because I thought I
Yeah.
bottled every emotion, like going through
Yes.
like that period of my high school. It was like I kept everything inside of me. I didn't tell anybody that I was
Yeah.
struggling with, social anxiety. I was struggling with
Right.
self confidence. I didn't want to like partake in anything,
Right.
but I was
Right.
thankful enough that I had sports to express
Yeah.
that on the other
Right.
side, where so it didn't like overfill. Oh, I mean, like it didn't
Yes.
like bottle too many times, because even if I was feeling angry, I don't say I am anymore. I feel things. Um,
Yes.
I took it out on the sports field or in that arena.
Yeah.
I took out my emotions
Yeah.
there, and then I felt better. And then I came home
Good
and I
for you.
went again. But I encourage kids now to express if they're not happy with something, come and say,
Yes.
like, that's the thing. Like, the, our households didn't have that comfort of, oh, okay, mom, I'm feeling. Maybe we felt like we couldn't, because it was never communicate it. I don't know, maybe we did or we didn't.
Yeah.
But we didn't. We were fearful of expressing that we weren't okay. Maybe when we
That's
were
it.
sick, yeah, we just showed that we was, just the general colds and flus and stuff. But
Yes.
life, 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 life aches and flus and stuff, we didn't express
Yeah.
how difficult
What
we
about
were.
mental health days?
Yeah,
Like there's just days where you just don't want to get out of bed. You just don't, Kish. And I mean, I've now recently I've just said, especially after my sis passed away, and I couldn't be a good version of myself that day because in every meeting I would have cried, I would have just, and I just said, I can't do it today.
no, you could. I
It's okay.
mean, it's
Yeah,
your sister was so. I mean, it's an integral part of your life, and when that
that's it.
piece is taken away from you, you have to start now putting that pieces together. It's not easy.
It's,
It's not easy.
it's not.
It takes time to grieve. It takes time to process that you've just lost a piece of
Yeah,
your soul.
that's it. You
So
did. You
we have,
did.
yeah. It's like when I felt like that
Yeah,
when my uncle passed away, because I think, just generally speaking, he was like everybody, somebody I looked up to in just
right.
life and
Right.
how things used to
Your
be and
role
stuff.
model.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, generally, basically. And when he passed away, I felt, what's the best way of me of expressing how I felt, and I put it in my blog article, and that's how I felt.
Wow. Yeah.
Otherwise, if I didn't go through that journey like I did previously, I wouldn't have known how to put it out. I would have bottled it. I would have
Exactly. Exactly.
been very sad. I feel very sad, very emotional, and
Yeah.
something I wouldn't be able to, like, just wake up in the morning and get going, because the hardest step is to, when you're in that phase, is
Move
to put your feet down on the ground to get going.
and carry on going. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's
Yeah.
the hardest part.
Yes.
But
It is the
I encourage people to do that, even if you're not feeling okay,
yeah.
and just start moving. Just start
That's
moving.
it.
The brain will
Yeah.
take over, and you'll forget. You'll
Yeah.
not forget, but you'll somehow start to eliminate that feeling of helplessness, and you'll start feeling
Yeah.
your power come back into yourself, because the brain will do that
Absolutely.
for you. It'll
Yes.
there's so many triggers that will start to happen. You'll start to feel confident again. You'll start to
That's
believe in
it.
yourself again, and
Yeah.
it'll take time, but you'll get there.
Yeah. It will happen. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
you're right. Life lessons, hey Kish. At
right.
least we learned them early. We could
Just
have
in
gone
time.
our
Just
whole
in
lives
time.
not learning it.
Exactly. So,
Gosh.
so one
Yeah.
last thing before we close the podcast. What's next for you? What does the future look like for Nadia?
Yeah, Kish. Sure. Exciting, I suppose. We also, hopefully planning to move countries. I
Oh,
won't say
amazing!
too much. I won't say too much right now. Um,
Are you coming
but
here?
oh, I wish. It's cold. It's cold, but
It's not cold. It's not cold.
it's not cold.
Trust me.
Okay.
Trust me. Trust me. It's not cold. It's amazing.
Okay.
It's amazing.
Okay. Is this you punting for me to come there? Okay, I'll think about it.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. But Kish, every day for me is an adventure. Every single day. And for me, it's about the experiences. It's about doing new stuff. It's about experiencing new things. It's just taking it day by day, literally day by day. But I do hope I finish this masters because that will be a massive accomplishment on my side. I can't tell you. I knew it was going to be hard. I really did. I didn't know it was going to be this hard. There's days, often days, I find myself, holding my knees and rocking myself in a corner and crying. Um, but I hope to graduate because I hope to be that.
You don't hope, you
Again,
will graduate. You will graduate.
I will
Yes, you
graduate. I
will.
will graduate,
You will.
and my boys will look at me 20 years from the down the line and say, "Mom was brave and Dad was brave." So I think Abby and I are trying to do brave things, and that's out of our comfort zone, which is the way we like it, because we both
Amazing.
thrive on that, and we push each other towards those things. So yeah, we're looking forward to the next adventure, and I think Ish, if I can just change one person's life, just one, that for me is something I look forward to all the time. So I do a lot of talks, and I try to help people, and I try to
I love that.
just be there, and that's my aim for now, is just, experience life, get through this masters, and just take the challenges day by day.
Lovely. Amazing. I'm so thankful and
Thanks.
grateful you've taken the time out to, share your journey and share your story and finding the strength in the vulnerabilities that we all have. Super
Absolutely.
thankful. And, I wish you guys all the best in your next phase of your life. I know you guys are going to be super successful. Your kids are going to be awesome. And I wish you all the best. And yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You have no idea how much this helped me as well, because it was so refreshing having someone else be super vulnerable with me.
Right.
And and you're doing great things, Kish, and I'm so proud of you. I'm proud
Thank
of you as the man you've grown into, and I wish you all the best. And thank you so much for having
me.
Much
appreciated. Super humble.
You too,
super
Kish.
grateful. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Okay. Bye.